Cam, Man United 0, Man City 3. Demolition, easy for City. Poor goals to concede, and an embarrassing defeat tonight.
It's pathetic. It is really, really bad. I think there's only maybe 20 minutes where they were genuinely untouchable towards the end, but that was after we gave them 2 goals. The first one, look, that's never a penalty. I don't know what's going on there. You see 5, 6, 7, 8 of them a game. I think if we want to get anything out today, we needed the ref to be on our side as well, and that's not happened. But the way they just walked all over us, just first to everything. And look, I'm a big Ten Hag fan, but today he's got a lot to answer for. A lot to answer for. He's made a lot of decisions that went down very badly, done a lot of things which just seem to keep being the same issue every single week. And there comes a point where you've got to stop it quite soon.
He's made that team selection today, and I saw a thing on Twitter before. So obviously, we're not watching it, so we don't know the context. But I did see a quote saying it was tactical with the players that he went with today, i.e. Varane on the bench, obviously not Reguilon. But
Varane must have been injured. To not even come on, he must have been injured. So I'll give him that one. Reguilon, I think, probably was injured as well. Whatever he was trying to do tactically did not work at all. So there's no semblance of tactical. What he really means by that is they're injured and I have no other choice. He tried to dress it up nicely. At least I hope that's what he's trying to do.
But it's saying it's tactical, but puts more pressure on you. Because that means you're saying that, in a nutshell, everyone's fit and healthy, but I'm choosing this.
I don't have a clue what he's tried to say there or what he's tried to do. It was a terrible, terrible decision, and not the first one he's made. The other few, Marcus Rashford staying on the pitch, got a terrible reception
for
here.
As long as he did,
and for rightly so, because once again, week after week after week, the guy walks around, doesn't challenge in the air. To be fair to him, today he actually did put up a couple of jumps at set pieces and cleared a few. But going forward, when there's a long ball from Onana, the guy just stands there, let the centre-back win it, see what happens after. Doesn't make any effort, doesn't care. And he walked all the way around the pitch. The only thing I'm surprised by was he didn't just go straight down the tunnel to try and hide away from the criticism he was going to get. But he spent the whole game hiding, whole game walking. How he starts every week, I will never know, because it's not like even this year that he's been that game changer and creating a goal out of nothing. The only goal he scored was against Arsenal. The only one. He seriously needs dropping.
And Ten Hag said literally yesterday in the presser, Friday, that I will play him every game to get the best out of him, and we're not seeing that at all.
Look, I've defended Ten Hag for a long time, and I think I sort of understand what he's trying to do in terms of he wants a very fluid system where there's a set structure, but the players in that rotate all the time. Lots of movement. And obviously, if you're wanting lots of movement and players to pop up in different positions, Johnny Evans isn't going to pop up in midfield and suddenly start receiving the ball in the half-time, ping it forward. You're not going to have, I don't know, Victor Lindelof at left-back, receiving the ball, playing outside the press on his left foot. It's not going to happen. But you've got to adapt. I think now is the point where
adapt. Like
it's time. It's time. There's enough of this. I've had enough of this transition stuff. Just go long. Play your principles. If you can't do it with the dynamic stuff of people moving, set your structure and just have players in those positions consistently.
Because sometimes it can be that simple in terms of like compete. You know, there's a big disparity between us and City and a golfing class. We know that, but if you are going to do a number, I'm not saying you have to go toe-to-toe for them and try and press all over the park and, you get outplayed. But there was intensity, people not going into tackles, play with a little bit of trying to get after them a bit. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, do you know the difficulty, though, in terms of that? I think Guardiola made a really good tactical change at half-time where in the first half they were all right at sort of moving the ball relatively quickly, playing down one side, and the whole United team would just shift across and would eventually win the ball back if we didn't sort of let them get a cross in or whatever. And that's fine. City aren't too dangerous if you do that. Second half, what he did, he changed it, which he hasn't done in the previous few games against us. He said, right, okay, now enough of that. If we suck them in one side, switch. Early switch, or you play it across the back, but you do it quickly. You fizz it into, if it's Walker, you fizz it into Diaz. Diaz fizzes it into whoever it was, Gvardiol on the other side, and you move it quickly across the pitch. That changed the game. And within 3 or 4 minutes, I don't know how long it was after half-time, maybe within 10 minutes, they scored the second. And that was the change that screwed us, because once that had happened, we couldn't get close to them. We didn't have enough runners, enough athletes on the pitch that we could get away with letting them switch the play. And that's the risk you take when you defend zonally. But equally, if we try and play man-to-man with the players we've got currently, we're going to get torn apart anyway. So in that sense, it is kind of a lose-lose situation. There's not much you can do. I think the last 20 minutes, you've got to say, City just turned it on. The speed they were moving the ball into midfield, pop round the corner, bang, next pass. So quick, no team could have touched them the way they played in that last 20. But that was only possible because we gave them the game
was over,
in the first 70 minutes.
It was a training exercise for them after that. Bruno Fernandes, our captain.
He was absolutely terrible yet again. He's had so many stinkers. He's not. Look, the one reason that I've got for not criticising him as bad as Marcus Rashford is that at least he puts effort in. However, the effort he's putting in is sometimes damaging and killing everybody else. There are a lot of people around saying, like, hang on, Ten Hag's got to make a sub, got to change something, got to do this, got to do that. When he brought Mason Mount on, now I haven't watched the goals back, I haven't seen any replays, so could be wrong on this, but as soon as he brought Mason Mount on, he was, to be fair, trying to get the ball back. But because he was pressing and chasing shadows, he was leaving gaps, leaving spots. And when City are in that mood, they just find that gap and they play you off the park. And that was the problem, is that if you bring on a sub, they want to make an instant impact. Of course they do. But they're going to do that by probably leaving gaps, going out to press somebody. And if you play City in this mood, and you leave that gap, they're just going to find it, and they're ruthless. They'll find it, they'll turn forward, they'll play forward, and they'll exploit you.
Well, it felt like he had so much more time just moaning to the referee rather than playing balls.
Bruno, as much for the pressing, he was useless on the ball as well. He was terrible. I don't know what Bruno and Rashford have to do to get dropped. I remember telling yourself, everybody else on those full views during lockdown, that sort of time, Bruno Fernandes is our version of Philippe Coutinho. In the high volume, that everything goes through him, get a lot of shots, a lot of great numbers. But for the team to truly progress, you need players that are going to play the way the manager wants and do that beyond all doubt. Whatever happens, you keep playing the right way. Rashford can't do it. And in all honesty, since Rashford's first come through the team, I'll say this again, I've said it a few times, if he hadn't come through an injury crisis when he did, I don't think he ever actually makes it out of the academy into the United first team. I don't think I honestly don't think he's that good at all. I think he's quick, he's got a few skills, but he doesn't even do skills anymore. He doesn't. When he's 1v1 with a man, he just slows it down, doesn't really do anything, usually passes backwards. He's not great in tight spaces, not particularly good passer, not particularly good creator, not actually that good of a finisher apart from that one sort of technique of shot that he's got. I really just don't see what he's got, and I think since he's had his back injury, he's not really challenged in the air either, and he's a big lad. You'd expect him to be doing that sort of stuff. I do not think Marcus Rashford is that good, and at this moment in time, I have no idea how he's not been dropped.
On Eric, I know you touched on it a little bit at the beginning. I'm not trying to insinuate that, he should be sacked or anything like that. Of course not, but how much pressure is on him? Obviously, we were the underdogs today, and everybody had us down to lose, including pretty much all our fans. I know I'm saying 2-1 and trying to give it. We all thought we was going to lose, right? How much pressure's on him to change what we're doing temporarily to get some results again, or the runs aren't getting any easier? How much pressure's on him?
Flex, there's a lot of pressure on him, but he's put some on himself. I think this whole block of fixtures. Normally managers will plan for like 3 or 4 games in advance. If you've got a big game coming up, you'll try and test elements of your game plan in the games leading up to it. McTominay up front has been one of those elements. It's not worked in any of those games at all.
Every single game he's making a change at half time to undo the starting team that he's put out.
Exactly, it just tells you where the problem's coming. But I think he's got to this point where he's fixated, probably in the last international break, on this City game. I want McTominay up there, I want to do this. Obviously Reguilon's not back fit, that's a blow. Varane's not fit, that's a blow. And to be fair, McTominay did have a couple of chances in the first half, but it's not really worked. I think Amrabat must have been injured at half time. But the biggest problem for me with Ten Hag at the moment, and I've defended him as all of you keep saying in the comments, disgraces in the comments, rinsing me for this and that. Look, he's got to adapt now. I think you've seen from Postecoglou at Spurs, for example. I don't want to draw these comparisons because they're different managers, different people, all that sort of stuff. But what he's done is he's got a set structure where there's not too much rotation. So it's generally the same players in each of those positions. So if it's a 2-3-5, whatever it is, those roles are generally occupied by the same players. Ten Hag wants constant rotation, constant fluidity. Stop that. Have your structure, do it statically, but have the same players doing it. Get used to doing that. Then as people come back, then you can start to build. Make sure your structure works with players in the same place, and then you can start to move people around and then do that. Yeah. Just be pragmatic, do things sensibly, and then we can build. What we have to say. I know you're going to come on to it and ask me on terms of man of the match, whatever.
No, I'm not, because we've lost 3-0.
No, you've got to give credit to Andre Onana.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Fantastic. I think he was absolutely, he was genuinely brilliant. And in front of me, that one in the first half where he's saved from Haaland, I have no idea where he's come from. Well, that's because the bloke in front of me is 6'2" and I've not seen him. I don't know. Yeah. But he does deserve credit. Just come out of nowhere to save that. And if it wasn't for him, Maguire and Evans, who I thought all did all right today, but Onana the best of the three, it could have been a lot worse. So fair play to them.